How you doing, guys? This is BG Dino, and I am the Terradome Soldier. Today's movie review / show is going to be on the movie Predator Badlands. But first, let's watch this trailer.
I didn't think you survived. Hunting something that can't be killed.
Predator Badlands begins when you see two predators. You see a bigger one and a smaller predator. They're more like, fighting, but you can see they're more like training in a training situation. So the bigger one, he kind of, beats the smaller one. And then when the smaller one climbs up, you learn that they're actually brothers. And the older brother, he was actually trying to train the younger brother to, there's some kind of training they have to go through in order they can make it to this particular clan. This particular clan is called Yaocha. But I'm not going to say the name again because it's so hard to remember. So I'm going to refer to the small predator as the young predator. Carry on. So in this particular clan, you can't show any kind of compassion, anything like that. Because immediately after the two brothers were training, the father, he pulls up in his aircraft and he confronts the older brother. He asks him, why haven't you destroyed him yet? And the older brother was more looking conflicted, like he loves his father, but he loves his brother, and he doesn't want to, take his brother out. See, because in this particular tribe, they remind me of the Spartans from 300, this right here. So,
inspected. If he'd been small or puny, or sickly or misshapen, he would have been discarded.
Just before the father pulled up in the aircraft, the two brothers, they were discussing, they had this little globe thing where they could pick different planets where they can go and train at to prove that they're worthy of being part of this particular clan. So the younger brother, the younger predator, the smaller one, he decided he's going to go to the worst planet that every predator from their tribe is terrified of going to and getting this one particular monster that everyone's terrified of. And he figured he want to go to that planet. He had nothing to lose. He's either going to get the monster or he's going to get destroyed. And he knows that in his particular clan, they actually wanted him destroyed anyway because he was supposed to be discarded at birth, pretty much like on 300, because they considered him as the small one, more like the little runt of the litter. Like if you had a bunch of dogs or something, there's a run real tiny. They call them the runts for whatever reason. I don't know the proper term. Please don't get me. Either way, he was the small one, and the father, he wanted him destroyed. So the father ordered the brother to destroy him in front of him. So the little brother, he had him chained down with this electrical thing that holds him down like this, and act like he was about to, decapitate the brother. So as he pulled the sword up, he hits the lock, and the little brother got free, and he already had some kind of thing connected to the place that the little brother was going to. He had the rocket already ready. So when he did that, he had a rope to shoot the brother in the back and have him connected to the spaceship, which shot him off to the Badlands. And as he was getting shot off to the Badlands, you see the father, he went and he killed the older brother because, like I said, in this particular clan, you can't show no compassion. Just off the fact that he showed compassion for his little brother, that meant immediately termination. So the father, big mean father, that father was mean. I mean, he killed him like he even took his head off, everything, he destroyed him. So This is where the brother, he gets shot in the rocket and he gets taken to the area called Badlands, and that's when the title come up like this. And I'm not gonna give you blow by blow, but this Badlands was crazy. This movie was great, man. I love this. I love the side effects. I like the CGI. The CGI wasn't bad in this movie. Like this particular planet, everything on this planet is there designed to kill you or eat you. I'm talking about from the plants to the bugs to anything. So when he first got there, he realized it was these plants, and as he get closer to them, they swell up like they're about to explode. So as he was realizing, it's more like let's say, we can call it more like a minefield. But these were particular organic plants that would explode, like like a landmine or something. So he's stuck in the middle of it because that's where his spaceship landed at, and he's trying to make it through the other side. Where he hears someone talking. The person he hears talking is an android. She's stuck inside of a vulture's nest. I guess a vulture picked her up somewhere and thought she was a real person and put her in the nest, and he realized she was nothing but an android. So anyway, she started communicating with the young predator on how to maneuver through that field. And as he was maneuvering through the field, there was a big flying bird, like a pterodactyl, was flying around and throwing rocks. They was trying to throw rocks at the plants. So the plants would explode. See, when the plants explode, it shoot off some kind of poison where it puts anything to sleep. So it was trying to put him to sleep so he can eat him. And that's what the female android that was stuck inside the nest that was called. Actually, to me, I consider this as a nod towards the Alien series, because the Alien series, they always had the androids. According to Aliens, the guy Bishop, he said they prefer to be called artificial human. But so we're gonna call it artificial human / androids. That's what we're gonna call them for this movie. So as the young predator made it over to the android / artificial human, he realized it's only a half of it, but they can survive. They're androids, so they don't have to have their whole body. So she's stuck in there, but she actually did help him maneuver through it. And as he maneuvered through it, she was like, well, if you help me find my legs, I'll help you find this big monster that you're trying to find. And then, we all make it. And he agreed to the terms, so he picked her up and he put her on his back. And he realized that she was so heavy because she had her arms around his neck, so he really couldn't maneuver. So he found a way past the bird, past the little plant minefield, where he see these things. They look like big giant water buffaloes. And the android / artificial human, she was explaining to him that, this is what that big giant monster that he's after. He eat those. And the predator, he was like, well, if he eat those, I can eat those. It was funny because, that's how the predators are. They always got to be the predator. They always got to feel like they can conquer everything. So it had like a comedy aspect to it. And, it made me giggle a couple of times just off the way he talked and the way he presented himself. And he never, they never backed down. I mean, with this particular predator, even though he was tiny and smaller than the rest of them, he didn't really have none of the weapons because remember he left because his brother shot off the rocket. So he didn't have none of the weapons that the regular predators had with the laser gun and turning invisible. He didn't have none of them weapons like most predators have. He pretty much had the sword that he was training with his brother with, which was a real sword. It may be like one other thing, a little small, I guess you wouldn't call it like a ninja star, but it's like a laser one. Their particular kind. It looked like one of those little back boomerang things, but either way, that's what he had, and he fed himself with. So he decided he wanted to try to chase these big giant water buffalo type things. And as he got close, he realized the grass was like cutting him. So the grass that was on this planet was made like a razor blade. Sharp. To the point like if you even touch it, it was like you take your finger all the way off. So the android, she was telling him, you can't make it through that. And then right after that, he noticed there was another little thing. It looked like Smeagol from what's the name of the movie? Lord of the Rings, that little small thing. It looked like that. It looked like that, and it looked like a monkey at the same time, like a flying monkey, but he ain't had no wings. So he went to go and attack the water buffaloes at the same time as the young predator. And the android, she was like, you better hurry and get him. It seems like you got competition. So they both running. He has the ability to run through the little grassy area that's made of blades I'm just giving you this right here because, this was a good part. Like I said, this movie was pretty good. It was never a boring moment. Just off the fact that him chasing water buffalo, that was actually exciting because, like I said, everything on the front that is there designed to kill you some kind of way, you know. And so as he was running through the thing, and he realized that the water buffaloes, they were just too fast because it was like, an area where these other things, it was like these big giant worm type things, and what they do is they shoot out these ducks, and when they shoot out these ducks, they freeze you. It freezes a person like to the point like that, and you pretty much can die. Like if somebody hit you, you'll just break apart. So he had to pretty much cut his chase to the water buffaloes short, and the little thing, he began to come to them like he was their friend or something. He wanted them to be their friend, so a little small. See, that's a little funny element of the movie. This little small thing, and he just wanted to hang around. So it was the half of an android, artificial human, the young predator, and now this little thing, this little what they call him, Bob, something like that. They call him. We're gonna call him Bob to keep it short, because I can't remember. Yeah. So anyway, it was those three. And as they were walking, the female android / artificial human, she was informing the young predator that she actually has is someone she's looking for. And she kept saying the name, but what it was actually an android that was designed just like her, and she considered her as her sister. Even though, they're not really sisters, the androids, but they never thought of the term sister until she was talking to the young predator, and he was telling them about what his brother did for him. So she was like, well, maybe she's my sister. So she started calling her her sister. So she was actually trying to get back to find her legs and find her sister, as he was trying to hunt down this big giant monster that, that can help him try to gain some respect, I guess, for the tribe, because to revenge his brother, pretty much. He wanted to go back, back to the planet where he was at to approach his father, to show his father, for one, I'm not weak. You killed my brother for no reason. Now he want revenge, of course. And a little small thing, he was just there with him. He wanted to be their friend, and he pretty much hung around. So it was like little small adventures like that. It gets to the point where the other half of the android body is there. He finds it, and she lets him know that, I'm not really here to just get my legs. I'm actually part of this big time company from planet Earth, that was there to actually capture this same monster that he's after, because the monster has a regenerating power like Wolverine or Deadpool, how they can rejuvenate. That's how this monster particularly can do. And they want his serum, his blood, and they want this particular monster so they can try to replicate it and use it for medicines and things like that. So she informed the young president, even though you did help me get here, but I had to call him because I'm programmed like that. So the young president, he gets mad. He's like, you don't use me, I use you. And so he was upset about that because he called her a tool, because, predators aren't supposed to fight with anybody, supposed to fight alone. So in his mind, the way he was able to track down the thing and use her as a friend, he had to call her a tool. He couldn't just be like, yeah, you my friend and you help me. He couldn't say that. He had to actually use her like, no, you're actually a tool for me to find it. And this other guy, I don't even care about him at all. He's nothing. So within that time, the young predator, he actually caught up with the monster that he was tracking down, and he fought him several times. Like I said, the monster has rejuvenating power, so he did things like cut his head off and fought him, and it's a big giant monster, and he was knocking him out, things like that. And he has very little weapons because he didn't have any weapons but his sword and that little small ninja star type thing, Batman boomerang type thing he had. So they fought several times, and eventually the monster, he runs away, and he's still there. So he finds out that the android sister, she's actually the head of a whole army of android cybernetic human beings, well, artificial humans. And their job is to track, like I said, track down the same monster he's tracking and track him down and kill him. They're there for both of them. They don't want to collect the predator. They want to collect the other one. They just want to kill the predator because they say he's interfering with their mission. And, like I said, the one that he saved, the half of them, the one that that actually called him in. She's programmed like that. Once she eventually started to try to put herself together, it automatically called. So she had no options in that. So the movie was pretty good. You know, it's a lot of action. You know, it goes down to the very last scene where he has to eventually fight her sister and all her little troops. She has about 20 other artificial human beings, soldiers, and she's even fighting against her own sister. She wants to destroy her too because she's working with the young predator, so she considers her as a traitor. So she eventually gets the one that's half. She eventually gets her bottom part put on her. So the three people that's fighting is not the three people, the three entities that's fighting. It's the young predator, it's the female android, and the little thing called Bob. Now, trying to find out after he has to go use a lot of things from off the planet as weapons. Because when he was fighting his brother at the very beginning, one of the things his brother told him, he said, learn how to use your environment to become your weapon. So what he did was he went back to the field where he first came in at, the things that explode. He turned that into a weapon. He turned the little worm thing that shoots out things that make things freeze and duck. He used that as the gun on his shoulder because it cooperated because it like berries. The female android, she had told him at the beginning that, you know, you better off making them happy than being your enemy. So he fed some of them and it became his friend. So sat on his shoulder and he used that as the gun like the rest of them used. And he took one of the water buffalo teeth that he had found on the ground. He used that as a sword for his arm, like, you know, like that normal weapon. So he pretty much had the same weapons, a replica of the weapons that most predators had. And he used that to fight against the big troops, the soldiers, the android soldiers that her sister was leading to destroy him and the big thing. Trying to find out, the big thing, he came and he stared the predator in the face right after he was fighting the soldiers. The big thing came back and he didn't do anything to him. And the female android, the one, the bad one, the sister, the main sister that works for the Earthlings, works for the company, corporation, she wondered why the thing ain't do anything to him. So the thing ain't do anything to him because trying to find out the little small thing named Bob, that's actually her child. That's actually her child. So she considered them as friends. Even when she fought him the first time, she didn't know that he was friends with that little thing called Bob. So when she realized they were friends, the big huge monster that he was there to destroy, she ended up becoming their friend. And the female that works for the corporation, the bad android, she ended up, you know, fighting against the big monster, and she gets inside of him. She has one of the old predator's weapons. She found one from one, because like I said, this island right here, you know, it was a fighting land. That's where they go to train there and different other planets. So she had something from his spaceship from when he crashed. She found one of his, some weapon that was in there, and she used that to fight against the monster that rejuvenates. She realized that let him eat her, and then she fought him from inside out. And she actually killed the big monster, but he still had little Bob. And he gets to a point where they end up fighting the sister and he destroyed her. And then, you know, it cuts off from that part. Then it shows the young predator, he actually flies back to his original planet to confront his father for killing his brother. So as he pulled up in the spaceship, the father was like, "You still too puny. Have you killed the big monster?" And he gave her the head of the android sister that she just killed. And he was like, "What is this?" And he was like, that's the enemy. And he's like, "That's not the head of the thing." So he ended up trying to fight, his father ended up trying to fight him. And, you know, like I said, with him being on that island, on that planet, he learned a lot of fighting skills that he already had anyway. He just was so small. But he was able to beat the father. The father was like, "Well, you still can't join our clan." He said, "I don't want to join your clan. I have my own clan." Because he had the female android, and he had Bob. Bob was much bigger at this time. You know, they grow real fast. So he's almost big as the big monster that everybody was terrified in his clan. He's like, "I don't need you. I got my own clan." And then pretty much he decapitated his father. Then you see all the other predators that work for that clan come out, and then you see an aircraft pull up, and you see another replica of the female android / artificial human being, and about 100 troops coming out of the ship. So it comes down to the point where you think, I guess he's going to eventually become the leader of the tribe that his father just passed away from, and they're going to fight against this. But it cuts off. So it's most definitely going to be another part to Badlands. It's most definitely going to be a Predator Badlands Part 2. I really enjoyed Predator Badlands. It was exciting. It kept me at the edge of my seat. It was always something going on. It was never boring. It was never boring. That's all you can really ask for in an action slash sci-fi movie. You know, excitement. Don't let me get bored. Give me a bang for my dollar. You know, let me be excited. Keep me entertained. That's all we ask for. You ain't got to be a rocket science. But this movie was good. I really appreciate this movie. My immediate reaction is I'm going to give it a field goal also. And my rating for this movie is going to be a 3.2 out of 5.5 Pterodon soldiers. 3.2 Pterodon soldiers out of 5.5. This movie's pretty good. It's a good, good movie to see Friday, Saturday, any day during the week. It's a good theater movie. I most definitely would go see it in the theater. I particularly watched it in 3D. It was awesome in 3D. So if you have the opportunity to check it out in 3D, check it out in 3D or check it out in 3D in the IMAX. This movie was great. I really appreciate this movie. This movie was good. I'm going to put this in the top 3 Predator movies. I've got part 1, part 2, then I'll put this. Yeah, I'll put this as my 3rd favorite. Everybody got their own list of their favorite Predator / Alien movie. It had a lot of nods to Aliens. It pretty much still lets you know that they're still in the same world of Predator versus Aliens. It's letting you know for sure that you're still in that world, because on the Predator movies, it was never talking about cybernetic human beings. That was something from all aliens. So just off the fact that they had the android, it shows that they're still in that particular world. So this movie was great. I really enjoyed it. Check it out, guys. Check it out in theaters, guys, if you can. I think it'll be a lot better than watching it on streaming, because like I said, you can get the surround sound in the theater, and also you can get the option of getting 3D. I seen it in 3D. It was awesome. So thank you guys for checking out this review. I really appreciate you guys. I really love you guys. Thank you guys so much. My numbers are steady climbing. It would never be possible without you guys. So thank you guys very much. Time for my honorable mentions. Shout out to the Dante Show Network. Shout out to June 5th. Shout out to Miss Jersey. Subscribe to her channel. It's Forensic 8888. Subscribe to my buddy Thug 2000. Subscribe to my buddy eBooks. And also check out my buddy Be Humble. Be Humble is an ex-military guy. He's a veteran. He helps out other veterans with his content. He also does a bike tour. Guys, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys. And all these guys I just spoke on all have channels on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. All have very good content, and they all part of my Pterodon family. So thank you guys. Like I said, guys, I really appreciate you guys. Also, guys, happy Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day. Veterans Day is November the 11th. So, happy Veterans Day, guys. Thank you guys for all the support. I love you guys. Be safe. BG Dino, salute. And I believe my next movie is going to be Five Nights at Freddy's Part 2. Thank you guys for all the support. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. Bye.